Motherfuckers just had the nerve to ask me on the ground, how you taking pictures with EBT when you saying fuck STL? What type of fucking question is that? Fuck STL, boy. We EBT. We don't know nothing about that other shit, man. All you niggas be fanned out. Don't know what the fuck going on. Don't let that rap shit fool y'all, shawty.
Going on. You put the you said you used to be hitting, you used to run his pockets and all that. Like, you was a bully, G? What you was on?
Nah, he was just a pussy. He was a pussy. He still is a pussy. That boy ran in that house and left that girl on that porch. She had to knock on that door. That damn pussy.
Damn. Oh, I want to go here. So was you a bully?
I get tired, man. I say, fuck it, I'm just gonna walk down 63rd with my shirt off and show my 62 chain to look like you a bitch on Tookaville. Shut your bitch ass up. You did 13 years for a nigga who ain't even seen your ass $1. Bitch, I walking down 63rd on my hop on my break.
We were beefing, but Lil Mikey stayed calling my phone every other day, you feel me? And I'm making this video today because it really fucked me up because Lil Mikey just called me this morning. I'm gonna insert the video at the end of the screenshot at the end of the video. Lil Mikey called me 9 o'clock Arizona time, which is 7 o'clock Chicago time. And I missed the call. I was high as hell, I was asleep. Yesterday I tried to call him. He didn't answer. This morning I missed this call. I rolled over to King Yellow waking me up. And half of the hood calling me.
What? What's going on? Don't run from me, man. Don't run from me, man. See what y'all got? Don't run from me, man. Please. I just want to talk to y'all, bro. I just want to talk to these guys. Just kick it with me.
Who is that?
Same nigga around with butter. Just ran on me. Come out that door, I'ma show you. He right there, bro. It's a blast! Finna be a fucking blast!
I'm tryna catch a rapper and spit his brains. His hood gotta change their name. I'm on cottage with 800, used to hang me, make niggas change their game.
All my niggas on standby. With them slapsticks, shorty. This shit don't stop.
The Fall of Tookaville Episode 1. Brothers No More. How STL, EBT, and Jaro City went from family to war. The streets are talking. And what they're saying right now, in the quiet gaps between the gunshots and the court transcripts and the viral social media videos, is something nobody wants to hear. They cried together, before the bodies, before the verdicts, before the it's on-site interviews and the diss tracks and the internet wars, before anyone called anyone a goofy or a rat or a clout chaser. These were the same people sharing the same block, the same school hallways, the same lunch tables. The same mothers knew each other. The same grandmothers watched the same children grow up from the same porches. And then something broke. Not all at once. That's never how it happens. The collapse of a brotherhood is not a single event. It is a slow erosion. It starts with something small, a slight, a disrespect, an allegation, and then the distrust creeps in, and the loyalties fracture, and what once felt unbreakable reveals itself to have been built on sand the whole time. This is episode 1 of The Fall of Tookaville. My name doesn't matter. What matters is the honest account. What matters is the record. The forensic, documented, street-verified record of what happens when a brotherhood collapses from the inside. Not the gossip version. Not the version designed to rack up views by sensationalizing tragedy. Not the version where we glorify the violence or turn human beings into cartoon villains for engagement. The honest account. And the honest account, when you sit with it long enough, when you trace it back past the tweets and the diss tracks and the interviews and the funeral posts, leads you to one profoundly uncomfortable truth. These men chose each other before they chose to destroy each other. That original choice, who they were to one another before the war, is where this story begins. Chapter 1. The Map. Geography as Destiny on Chicago's South Side. Before you can understand who these people are to each other, you have to understand where they come from. Because in Chicago, specifically on the South Side, geography is not just a backdrop. Geography is identity. Geography is allegiance. Geography is sometimes the difference between life and death, and the distance between a friend and an enemy is sometimes measured in city blocks, rather than ideology. We are talking about a compressed corridor of the South Side that runs through some of Chicago's most historically dense and documented street territory. We are talking about the neighborhoods that stretch through Grand Crossing, Woodlawn, Englewood, and the areas immediately adjacent. A patchwork of Chicago Housing Authority remnants, 2 flat buildings, vacant lots, and corners that have been disputed territory for decades before any of the names in this documentary were even born. Grand Crossing, Woodlawn, the area around 63rd, 64th, 65th Street, St. Lawrence Avenue, Cottage Grove, Stony Island. These are not random intersections. These are chapters in a longer book that was being written long before drill music gave the rest of the world a window into what was happening there. To understand FBG, Flyboy Gang, you have to understand that they emerged from this geography. They didn't come from the North Side. They didn't come from some disconnected zip code. FBG Duck, whose government name was Carlton Weekly, and his crew were products of this specific South Side terrain. The blocks they knew, the people they grew up with, the rivalries they inherited, all of it was rooted in the same narrow geography that also produced the men who would eventually become their most vocal and most dangerous critics. That's the first thing you need to hold in your mind as we walk through this story. The closeness, the physical, geographic closeness that made brotherhood possible. And that made betrayal so much more devastating when it finally came.
And we love, man, Young Money Jaro, man. You see us, man. We out here, man, for the butter. I think about it. Think about it. Young Money Jaro, we out here, man. Hey, honey, we out here, man. Yeah, daddy. Yeah, daddy. We is out here. We is out here. We is out here. Think about it. Hey, honey, think about it. Hey, all day, niggas out here, daddy. Look at that.
We out here, man. We out here, Stu.
JaroCity shit, man.
Fuck you, bitch ass niggas, man. L's up, man. We die here, man.
You know we out here, man, like
Fuck the police, man. Fuck the police, man. We out here.
He gon' blow.
Lil J, fuck you running for? We out here, man. JaroCity TV, man. We out here, man. Big team entertainment, man.
Because STL, St. Lawrence, is not some distant crew operating in a foreign part of Chicago. St. Lawrence Avenue runs right through the heart of this same territory. The men who built what became known as STL were walking the same streets, seeing the same corners, breathing the same air as the young men who would eventually call themselves FBG. They were neighbors before they were anything else. And EBT, and here is something critically important that we will establish clearly and return to throughout this documentary. EBT is not the same as STL. They are allied, they are connected, they move together in many contexts, but they are not the same organization. EBT BG Baby Greg made this explicit and on record in multiple public statements, and we will get into the full weight of that distinction later. But for now, hold that as foundational. STL and EBT are two separate crews with their own identities, their own internal structures, their own histories, who found common cause and common alliance in a shared landscape of conflict. And then there is Jaro City, and specifically Jaro Lil Mikey, the figure who would become perhaps the most vocal, the most documented, and the most analytically precise critic of FBG in the entire social media era of this beef. Jaro Lil Mikey is not a peripheral character in this story. He is one of its central architects. His words, his interviews, his willingness to go on record and say things that most people in his position would leave in the shadows. That willingness is one of the primary engines of this whole narrative.
I really ran with Lil B and K.I., you better ask about it. I really ran with more than skinny, boy, you better ask about it. And no more evil monster.
What? What's going on? Don't run from me, man. Don't run from me, man. What y'all got? Don't run from me, man. Please. I just want to talk to y'all, bro. I just want to talk to these guys. Just kick it with me.
Who is that?
They ran on me, gang. They ran on me. Same nigga ran with Butter. Just ran on me. Come out that door, I'm gonna show you. He right there, bro. It's a blast. Finna be a fucking blast. My dead homie. No. Fuck is you talking about?
I don't wanna be here no more. I just wanna buy this person, city drinking, high the ghost. Thinking about Lil B and Tutu like my niggas gone. I get so high off these drugs up on no.
So how good you feel doing this right now?
I feel good, man. Give out to my community. Feel good. This shit feel
better than lean, don't it?
Yeah, this shit feel better than lean. This shit feel way better than lean. Walking through the community, passing out sandwiches, man. Come on, man. This different right here, man.
Hey, I like the shit.
So you have three distinct entities, STL, EBT, and Jaro City, and you have FBG. And for a period of time, a period that has been almost deliberately obscured by the noise of the subsequent beef, these groups coexisted. More than coexisted. They moved together. They mourned together. They claimed solidarity with one another in the way that young black men on the south side of Chicago build community, in the only ways available to them when the conventional structures of society have largely abandoned their blocks, and then it collapsed. This episode is the forensic record of how. Chapter 2. Flyboy Gang. Who they were before the world knew their name. You cannot evaluate the collapse of a brotherhood without first establishing what that brotherhood actually was. So let us be precise about FBG, Flyboy Gang, and who they were in their formative years, before the music, before the internet fame, before the external pressure that would eventually force every alliance in their orbit to choose a side. FBG Duck, Carlton Weekly, was the face. That much is undisputed. He had a charisma that translated on camera in a way that few people from his environment possessed. He could speak, he could organize. He could take the raw emotional reality of life on a South Side block and give it a form that people outside that world could at least partially grasp. That talent made him valuable. It also made him a target, not just from external enemies, but eventually from internal critics who would argue that his platform gave him influence that his actual street standing didn't necessarily warrant. But FBG was never just Duck. That is a critical piece of this that tends to get lost in the posthumous narratives. FBG Butta was there from the beginning. FBG Cash was there from the beginning. FBG Young was part of the fabric of what FBG was in its early years. These were not stage names adopted for a music career. These were young men from the same blocks, the same buildings, the same extended family networks that define how crews form in urban Chicago. They became FBG the way most crews become crews. Organically, through proximity, through shared experience, through the mutual understanding that the block either holds you together or consumes you one by one. In the early years, before the drill era had fully crystallized into the internet phenomenon that brought national and international attention to the South Side, FBG existed in a landscape where the primary concern was survival in a very immediate, very local sense. The music was a byproduct of that existence. The cameras came later, the interviews came later. The brand, the curated public identity of Flyboy Gang as something recognizable to people who had never set foot on the south side of Chicago, that came later. What came first was the block. What came first was the relationships. And those relationships extended beyond the core FBG membership into the broader ecosystem of crews and individuals who occupied the same geography. That ecosystem included, at various points and with varying degrees of formality, people connected to STL, people connected to EBT, people who would eventually align with what we now know as Jaro City. The honest account demands that we acknowledge this. There was a period where the walls between these groups were not walls at all. They were open doors. People moved through them freely. The alliance was not a formal treaty sealed with handshakes and witnessed by lawyers. It was the informal, unspoken understanding that young people build when they grow up in the same compressed geography and share the same fundamental reality of living under the same pressures. That informality, that lack of explicit structure, would later become one of the primary fault lines. Because when things go wrong in an informal alliance, there is no mechanism for repair. There is no agreement to refer back to. There is no established process for resolving grievance. There is only emotion, pride, and the street's unforgiving code of conduct. And when pride and the street code collide with unresolved grievance, the results are rarely peaceful.
Motherfuckers just had the nerve to ask me on the ground, how you taking pictures with EBT when you saying fuck STL? What type of fucking question is that? Fuck STL, boy. We EBT. We don't know nothing about that other shit, man. My mama, they not one of us. All you niggas be fanned out. Don't know what the fuck going on. Don't let that rap shit fool y'all, shawty. We stretch gang, they rappers, clout chasers. They take weight and they rap for some shit they didn't even do, had no parts of even doing, never ever. They ass nice as hell. They ain't gonna kill none or let none die, man. Real shit. Do not believe that rap shit. They flogging, they flexing, they bitches. The city know they hoes. Why you think they try to click up with their motherfucking body? They not gonna kill none or let none die. Never did. All they homies got nailed, they never got they get back. Ever. But be putting all these niggas in they song on dead niggas like they done stood on business. They never stood on shit.
Talking about I said fuck Duck. Why is you telling niggas I said fuck Duck, bro? I don't got nothing against him. Nothing. Y'all got the numbers. I don't give a fuck about nobody riding with me. I'm cool by myself. I'm a one-man band, G. It's a lot of backdoor clown shit through that bitch anyway. Ain't no nigga finna do me like that, G. Y'all can have the numbers. Don't lie on my name, though, G. I said fuck STL. I said fuck Boss Trill. And I said fuck Dutch. Why? Because they said fuck my daughter. And I don't give a fuck who gives. Look, man, I don't care who feel no type of way. You bitch-ass niggas disrespect my daughter. That's what it is. I never not once said fuck nothing about Duck, shorty. On my mama. So stop lying on my name, you bitch-ass niggas. Duck was my boy. He was misled, though. Y'all trained him to death, literally. And capitalize off that man's name. You niggas bitches, shorty. Folks. I hate the fact he couldn't goddamn it see his vision, because he had a lot of bitch ass niggas around him. He made a way for you gay rapping ass niggas. And y'all benefited off him. You niggas bitches, shorty. Y'all drained him to death, shorty. Literally. What y'all mad he was finna goddamn it fight y'all daddy from being his manager? You bitch ass niggas. That's what y'all mad about? He was finna get rid of y'all goof ass daddy. You niggas hoes, shorty. Oh, Lil B.
Cause I'm gonna stun on what I say.
Oh, what's up, bud?
What's up with y'all, bro? Y'all playing games, boy. You know, me and you talked about this shit already.
Who was y'all?
Who was y'all?
Who was y'all, bro?
On jerk, nigga. Tell your brother stop playing on the internet, boy. Over there. On jerk, not coming to our hood.
Who? What's your hood, bud?
What's your
Apple
hood?
High, 61st, 62nd Apple High, nigga. My block, nigga. I've been on all my life. You niggas went on that block, nigga. Fuck around with y'all.
Who?
That's what you trying to say, yo? Say what you gonna say. Say what you gonna say. I'm listening to you now.
On BT for y'all niggas so internet for on Shondell Gregory for you
say
niggas.
I'm internet.
You and whoever else on Shondell Gregory for if you got a problem with Cash for call his phone on Shondell Gregory, bub. You know me, folks. On Shondell Gregory,
stop talking on this lie like you really like that or you a threat or something. Stop doing that on Jerk, nigga.
I'm not.
I got love for you, bro. But your brother a bitch.
Bub, I'm not, bub.
My brother a bitch, boy.
Okay, tell it to him, folks. Stop, folks. Don't come up on here, folks. You got niggas up on you got niggas up on here. You got niggas up on here, folks.
Who watching this? So you niggas got the word thinking we bitches, nigga. Fuck y'all,
folks. All right, okay. On Tookaville, folks. On Shondell, nigga, you would never say that in my face on Shondell Gregory, folks. On BT, folks. You would never say that in my face, folks. Nigga, I pull up on you and talk to you, folks. Come on now, bro. Stop playing with me, folks.
I'm gonna say what in your face. I'm gonna say what?
On my kids, folks. You would never say that in my face, boy. Stop playing, bro. On Shondell. Fuck y'all. On Tookaville, folks. You would never say that in my face, boy. Stop playing.
What, bro? What I'm gonna say in y'all face?
Bro. Stop playing, bro.
What I'm gonna say in your face is?
Nigga, fuck y'all, fool. You would never say that in my face on Shondell, nigga. You
I tell all y'all that, nigga. I said I'm in there all the time, nigga. On Jerk, nigga.
Stop it, folks. Stop it, folks.
I said I'm in there all the time. Instead of y'all looking my 30 on me, y'all don't never have no guns on y'all. I'm my little brother, nigga. Fuck around with you, nigga. Fuck STL.
Hey.
And we don't lie, nigga. Y'all don't never have no guns.
Hey.
Every time one of y'all see me, I got a 30 on me to switch to a regular 30, nigga. On my block, nigga, wherever y'all at. Y'all ain't with that shit, nigga. Stop
on BT. Nigga, on BT, nigga, we always held our own on Shondell Gregory, nigga. Stop that, nigga. On BT, nigga, stop
you need to
get up
lie. Go get somebody else.
On Shondell Gregory, nigga, on my kids. Nigga, on my kids, nigga, you the same nigga for jump in my car and sneak this on your own homies, nigga. On Shondell, nigga, stop fucking playing with me, boy.
I'm by myself.
Stop playing with me, boy. Stop playing with me, boy. On Shondell, you know I never, bub, you know I don't do none of this shit. On Shondell Gregory, folks. On BT, folks. You and all them other red ass niggas, internet ass niggas for y'all internet as hell on Shondell Gregory, folks. Y'all got the hood looking crazy as hell. Cause all you niggas rats and internet on Shondell Gregory for on BT, nigga. Stop playing on Shondell, nigga. L's always held his own on Shondell Gregory, nigga. Anytime y'all got a problem with Cash and L's on Tookaville, anytime y'all got a problem with Cash or Young, nigga, y'all come talk to me on Shondell Gregory, nigga. On BT, nigga. L's always held his own, nigga. L's, Dutchy, and Young. On Shondell, nigga. Ain't no nigga ever talk crazy to us on Shondell Gregory.
Is I'm a rat?
What? Is I'm a rat? And I'm a bitch? And I ain't never did shit, bub. On Tookaville, stop playing, folks. Stop playing, bub. Stop playing. Stop playing, bub.
Chapter 3. STL and EBT. 2 names, 1 alliance, 0 confusion. Before we go any further into the narrative of how these groups fractured, we need to spend real time on a distinction that is constantly blurred in internet discussions and that distorts the entire picture if you get it wrong. STL and EBT are not the same. This is not a minor footnote. This is load-bearing structural information. If you conflate STL and EBT, and many people do, both online and in casual street conversation, you will fundamentally misunderstand the dynamics of this beef, who holds what grievance, and why the positions of these crews diverged in the ways they did. EBTBG Baby Greg, one of the most articulate and documented voices from the EBT side of this narrative, went on record explicitly to address this confusion. His statement was clear and unambiguous. STL and EBT are not one and the same. They are separate crews. They may be allied. They may move in the same circles. They may claim solidarity on certain issues and in certain conflicts. But they have distinct identities, distinct membership, distinct internal politics, and distinct historical trajectories. Why does this matter so much? Because the beef with FBG and the specific allegations leveled against FBG members did not come from a monolithic bloc. The positions of STL and EBT, while aligned on many fundamental points, emerged from different vantage points and different specific histories with the FBG orbit. To treat them as one entity is to erase the nuance that makes this story meaningful. Let us establish what we do know about EBT as a distinct entity. EBT, and the name itself carries specific local meaning in the context of Southside Chicago crew culture, represented a formation of young men from the area who built their own internal identity, separate from but parallel to STL. The connection between them was organic and geographic rather than organizational. They were products of the same neighborhood ecosystem. They shared enemies. They shared losses. They shared the fundamental experience of growing up black and male in a part of Chicago that the city's broader economic and political structures had largely written off. But sharing an ecosystem is different from sharing a name. And BG Baby Greg's public clarification was, in many ways, a statement of identity sovereignty. It was a declaration that EBT had its own story, its own accountability, its own voice, and that voice would not be subsumed into a broader STL EBT monolith just because outsiders found it convenient to lump them together.
Makes sense though. Then niggas mentioning Tuka, no, folks was not sliding and killing shit. On Shondale, folks wasn't know. Only thing folks did was fuck a lot of hoes and made niggas laugh on the guy. If a nigga ain't like little folks brothers because he fucked they bitch. I don't phone them. That's all little folks is doing. Like, nigga mentioned his name, folks. The only reason Tuka name get mentioned so much, folks, because niggas thought we couldn't die, folks. That's the first nigga ever died from our shit, folks, where niggas like, damn, these niggas can die, folks. Niggas thought we was untouchable, folks. Niggas couldn't touch us, folks. On the guys, folks, they killed Tuka on a bus stop, folks. They killed the shorty on a bus stop, folks. Going to my sister crib, folks. On the guys, stop playing, G. Like, come on, folks. Niggas couldn't touch us, folks. So when once Tuka dropped, folks, they, damn, these niggas can die. Get your goofy ass on, folks. You know what was going on out here, folks.
All right, so who was right there, Shorty?
Your ass lying, folks. Listen, listen. On my son,
if you wasn't right there,
on my son, nigga, on Tookaville, on my son, nigga. Listen, if I'm right or wrong, on my son, nigga, you got put over by 12. Folks was with you, nigga. On my son, he knew you had a 380, nigga. You didn't get booked for it. Why you ain't get booked for it? You stuffed that bitch in your ass. You a faggot.
Stop. Who? When? Nigga, on
Bro.
my daughter, you lying, you bitch ass nigga.
Fuck your daughter, nigga. You lying on her, nigga. Fuck your daughter, nigga.
Yeah, all
On
that.
Tookaville, nigga,
Yeah,
I can
fuck
put
my daughter.
on my son, nigga. I can put you with anybody from Everhard, EBT, nigga. Your ass, you hit a gun in your booty. And you been on some gay shit. And look, and you been on some gay. You been on your name is gay in the hood, nigga. You just made up a you know that nigga that you posting up acting like he slapped same fact.
I'm asking you about EBT Lil Greg, and you didn't diss him, you didn't say nothing crazy about him, but he had like a negative response to you. Now, if you seen that, how did that make you feel? Now, I'm gonna say this too. I had text him in the inbox. I told him like, I don't think brother was trying to get down on you. You know what I'm saying? I think he was giving you props. You know what I'm saying? But it's like he still had a negative feeling. Do you have a feeling about that or opinion? If not,
Nah. A motherfucker showed me that shit. I was laughing. I don't know what he missed. I didn't think he was speaking on that shit. Fuck that shit.
It was just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know, niggas be, I'm telling you, niggas be crazy.
Yeah.
Some them buttons be fucking nigga head up.
Them buns. With them pills.
The buns on.
Oh, you talking about the internet.
Words get the solution to some shit. I don't know.
Internet type shit.
Whatever the fuck. I don't know. This shit. I think this shit will misconstrue a lot of people. So, like, I don't know. People are misconstrue some shit. Like, same shit with butter type shit. The first time I was on this bitch. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, did I even this one though? Remember I told you that?
Yeah,
but you gotta see how this shit be like.
I do what you're saying. You said your opinion, and he took it like you dissed him because basically he probably didn't expect you to say something negative about him on the internet. That's how I felt about it. But hear me out. I'm giving your point of view. You saying that it shouldn't have never been none on the internet negative for me to say nothing about. That's how you looking at it. In so many words, that's what.
To speak facts on my mama, y'all always talking about T.Y. can't get right, and a lot more of the guys. Tell him who really knocked them down. Y'all around the niggas every day that really knock folks down, and this y'all homie. Y'all know, I know. Stop playing, folks. Y'all fake as fuck, G. On my mama. You fake bitch, dick riding ass niggas. On my mama, boy, y'all around these people every day that killed that man. Ain't no ops did that shit. I know, man, y'all know what the fuck going on. While all you little hoes be laughing and condoning this goofy shit going on. Hey, tell them who knocked y'all people down. Folks, nigga, ain't STL. Y'all funny, G. Oh, my mama. Talking about I said fuck duck. Why the fuck would I say that? Folks was starting to realize y'all ass was fool. Oh, my mama. Y'all, G, he was starting to realize y'all is fool as fuck, shorty.
STL, for its part, has its own distinct history rooted specifically in the St. Lawrence corridor. St. Lawrence Avenue is one of those streets that has functioned as both a geographic dividing line and a cultural anchor for the communities that have lived along it. The crews that formed around St. Lawrence carried the name as a badge of territorial identity, a way of saying not just we are from the South Side, but more specifically, we are from here, this particular stretch, this particular set of corners. The alliance between STL and EBT, when it did function, was the alliance of neighboring powers who recognized their common interests. It was built on mutual respect and shared conflict, both of which are powerful bonding agents in the street context. When you are navigating the same threats, when you are mourning the same fallen, when your enemies overlap almost entirely, the logic of alliance is intuitive. But even the strongest alliances have their internal tensions. And part of what makes this story worth telling carefully is that the STL EBT alliance, while publicly unified against FBG, was not without its own complexities, its own unspoken disagreements, its own internal negotiations about how to handle the situation they all found themselves in. The honest account acknowledges those complexities rather than pretending they don't exist. Chapter 4. Jaro Lil Mikey, the voice of the indictment. If STL and EBT represent the territorial and organizational dimension of this beef, then Jaro Lil Mikey represents something different. Jaro represents the voice, the articulate, relentless, publicly documented voice of a very specific indictment against FBG. Jaro Lil Mikey did something unusual in the context of Southside Chicago street beef. He talked at length in detail, with names and specifics, and a level of analytical precision that most people in his position would never allow themselves. He went on camera, he went on audio. He made his position plain in a way that left no room for misinterpretation. And the position was this: FBG, in Jaro's formulation, were rappers. And being a rapper in the specific street political context Jaro was operating in meant something very particular. It meant that you had built a public identity and an income stream off a street reputation that Jaro and others from the area believed was either exaggerated, fabricated, or borrowed from the credibility of people who actually did the things that the music and the public persona implied. This is the just rappers narrative. And it is one of the most destructive charges that can be leveled in the culture that FBG Duck and his crew existed within. Because in that culture, the music is supposed to be a reflection of the life, not a construction designed to simulate a life. The credibility is supposed to be earned, not performed. And when someone with Jaro's local knowledge and local standing stands up and says, "These men are performers, not players," that charge carries enormous weight. We need to be careful here about what we can verify and what remains in the realm of allegation. What we can verify is that Jaro made these statements publicly. What we can verify is that his allegations were specific and detailed rather than vague. What we can verify is that these allegations circulated widely in the community, were repeated and amplified by others, and contributed significantly to a shift in how FBG was perceived in the very environment they claimed as their own. But let us be equally clear, allegations are not verdicts. The street court is not a legal court, and the history of the South Side has more than enough examples of reputations being destroyed by strategic misinformation, personal grudges dressed up as principle, and the weaponization of allegations that happen to be convenient for whoever is making them.
What you been a hoe? Stop mentioning me. From now on, you niggas, look, if a motherfucker asks y'all about BG, EBT, Baby Grit, man, look, I don't want to talk about dude on Chief. Don't say nothing about me. You faggot ass nigga. Nigga platform talking about some
BG chill. You under a microscope. I don't, man, get your. Stop mentioning the motherfucking names, G. Like, you a fucking goofy, G. For real. On the guys, G. Like, you a real live dick rider, G. Talking about clout chase. Don't no motherfucker always chase clout, man. You know that. Straight the fuck up. Chasing clout. G, you the one do interviews with the BDs, folks. That's chasing clout, G. On the guys. And you not from Everhard, folks. Your ass from the Audi home, boy. On the guys. Fuck wrong with you, G. You from 11th and Hamilton, folks. Like, it's not making sense to me, folks. Like, why you study mentioning the motherfucking names, G? Niggas don't mention your name, folks. We don't talk about you, G. We don't speak upon you, G. You's a fucking nobody. A real fucking goofy, G. Like, and you know that. So, for you to even be coming through a motherfucking phone like that, G, like, talking crazy, making these goofy ass videos, these dumb ass accusations, folks, you know better than that, G. Like, you the same nigga was writing me in jail, folks. Man, I can't wait till you come home, folks. You the realest nigga left, folks. You all I got, folks. Like, G, come on, man. You's a fucking goofy, G. On the guys. Like, you was a real live fan of fucking dick rider, G. You was one of my shorties, folks. And you older than me, G. Folks, you real live blue, because I ain't let you backdoor the guys, folks. Like, make that make sense. Same nigga write me in jail, folks. Let me rob Duck, G. Let me rob. Get your goofy ass on, folks. You a fucking goofy. For real, G. Like, it ain't making sense to me, though, G. Like, you study speaking upon us, folks. We don't speak upon you. Then you talking about some, what the fuck does Goofy say? Oh, yeah, if a motherfucking kill me, G, a motherfucker be an innocent bystander and a nigga gonna mention my name. Motherfucker gonna say they smoking me. Ain't no motherfucker gonna mention you or make no diss songs about you, G. What the fuck? You for real, G? Mention you, G. Make a diss song about you. Get your goofy ass on, man. Don't nobody mention your goofy ass, G. You's a fucking nobody. Slap the shit out of one of the guys, they make a song about you. You fucking clown. Only thing you said that was true, folks, that Parkway didn't do that. On the guys, they ain't do that, they can't get right, folks. That's the only thing that was accurate for
on the internet, because I felt like you weren't on there, didn't nobody see that, and I told you that too, and I felt like you kind of made people feel like if it's still, people still don't know if it's you. You only the one who said that, you know what I'm saying? Then look like you said it too though, but it's like, but don't nobody know that, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
why did you say that? You know
no, because I looked at the video.
But you ain't see yourself on there though.
I don't see myself because I know it wasn't myself, but when another nigga saying that it was me, I gotta, you see what I'm saying? I gotta, like, bro, you talking about, oh, give me the gun. They go Lil P on the porch. Like, that's the whole video. I see this shit, so I'm like, damn, hold on. But here, you know, I gotta say something back though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I did what I did and said what I said. Whatever y'all think I said, yeah, whatever y'all think. But I ain't saying no name though. That nigga said my name and his people said my name. They ass did what they did. But we know we got over that shit. His people came to my crib. His big homies. Told them to go get bruh. They went to go get him. We handled this. We handled this shit, folks.
So y'all settled it after that vlog shit, because y'all had a disagreement or whatever. You saying y'all settled it. Then it kind of like you just said earlier, you kind of like the vlogs picked it up where they were saying you dissed them. Well, I don't know if you dissed them because some people were saying you did, some people saying you didn't. I don't know how you was.
I ain't dissed the nigga, bro. I just said what I know what would have happened if I was dead like him, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everybody want to take that shit to another, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I said, this is what I said. If I was dead like him, you would have been trolling me. Yes, you would have, bro. You was already trolling me. So I feel like if you was already trolling me, if I would have been dead or if I would have got killed, you would have been trolling me right now while I was dead, bro. Because I know you would have, bro. Like, because that's your MO, bro. Like, because he was chasing it at the time. Like, he was over chasing. Because that's why he brought you my shit. You were chasing. Why you don't go on the op shit? You know what I'm saying? Chase that shit over there. It's more niggas over that bitch. I'm this famous. I'm this famous. Why you want to troll me? It's hella motherfuckers you could have trolled. This is my whole point. It's hella niggas you could have trolled, bro, other than me. So now I'm looking at me like, all right, I gotta be famous as hell. Because I got a nigga trolling me. Like, you not even an op. Like, I ain't this. And then we we got like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm with him every day, bro. I'm in a drunk TV interview. I ain't get on the camera. I'm behind the scenes. Like, ask bro. Like, he was out here, I was locked up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, but.
And that's what I'm saying, because that seemed like y'all made up. But it's like, why do you feel like, okay, not you feel like y'all made up?
Nah.
You feel like if you would have died, he would have dissed you. If y'all made up,
Yeah, because I felt it like that because when I just did the vlog on the couch, he was mad. I don't know why he was mad, because on the couch, asked about the shit. You know what I'm saying? And I told him the full story. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to bite my tongue about that shit or none of that shit, because I'm going to keep saying it. You was chasing it, bro. We didn't have no problems. Why is you trying to do all this shit in front of my crib? It's the ops. It's other that's how I feel. It's other on top of me, like with this clout shit. Like, why you got to come in front of my shit? I must be clout the fuck up, because I must not know who I am. Because for you to come in front of my shit and there's more that's clouted than me, you should be going to their shit and over getting clouted off them, bro. Why you coming in front of my shit? What I do to you? So when you come and I tell them to go get you, and then it's no problem, it's like, damn, what we on? You say you ain't got no problem with me, but you was just in front of my crib with bro. It was corporate. But now you saying I don't got no problem with Lil P. Like, I'm like, how you don't got no problem with me, bro? You was just this shit not making sense to me though. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what was you doing? Like, yeah, you was shooting a blog, you got paid for it or whatever, however that shit went. Why did you come? If you pull up in front of my shit when I tell phone them to go get you, and you saying, I don't got no problem with him. If you ain't had no problem with
The honest account holds both realities at once. Jaro made serious charges, and those charges require serious scrutiny rather than automatic acceptance. What drove Jaro to become the most visible public critic of FBG? The answer to that question lives in the history that predated the public beef. It lives in the relationships that formed and frayed in the years before any of this became internet content. And to understand that, we have to go back further, to the period that almost no one talks about, because it complicates the clean narrative of permanent enemies that both sides, in their own ways, prefer to maintain. The period when they were something closer to family. Chapter 5. They cried together. The brotherhood before the beef. This is the chapter that nobody in this beef wants to exist, on either side. FBG doesn't want the world to dwell on a time when the men now calling them frauds and clout chasers were standing beside them at funerals, sharing the same grief, claiming the same solidarity, and STL, EBT, and Jaro don't necessarily want to publicize that their most bitter current enemies were once close enough to share moments of genuine emotional intimacy, but the honest account does not have the luxury of selective memory. The south side of Chicago in the early to mid-2010s was a landscape of extraordinary and relentless loss. The statistics, which have been documented, analyzed, written about, and mourned in every major publication in the country, tell part of the story. But the statistics cannot capture what it felt like to be young and male and alive in that environment during that period. They cannot capture the specific texture of grief that accumulates when people you grew up with, people you walked to school with, people whose faces you know as well as you know your own reflection, when those people start disappearing one by one. In that environment, grief is a communal experience. The boundaries between crews and factions, which in calmer times might feel significant, tend to blur at the cemetery gate. You cry with whoever is crying. You hold whoever needs to be held. The shared loss becomes its own kind of bond, independent of whatever territorial or political calculations define the relationship on other days. FBG Duck, in his public interviews and in the music he made during this period, spoke openly about loss, about grief, about the specific anguish of watching the people around him be taken violently and suddenly. That emotional openness, which would later be reframed by his critics as performance, was, in those early years, read by people in his orbit as authenticity. And people in his orbit at that time included individuals who would later become his most determined enemies. The specific texture of these early bonds is difficult to reconstruct from the outside. Street relationships in Chicago's South Side do not leave paper trails. There are no meeting minutes, no documented agreements, no formal records of who was allied with whom in 2012 or 2013 or 2014. What exists are photographs, some still circulating online, some deleted by parties on one side or the other, when the beef made their existence inconvenient. What exists are accounts from people in the community who watch these relationships form and later watch them disintegrate. What exists is the music itself, which often references relationships and alliances from this period, even when the artists later tried to distance themselves from those references. And what exists is the simple geographic reality that these people were from the same compressed territory. You don't build deep animosity toward people you've never had significant contact with. The intensity of the hatred that eventually characterized this beef is itself evidence of how close the prior relationship must have been. Indifference does not generate the kind of heat that this beef generated. Only betrayal, real or perceived, generates that kind of heat. So yes, they cried together. They were at the same funerals. They were on the same corners during the same moments of collective community crisis. They shared the same fundamental experience of being young and alive in one of the most dangerous urban environments in 21st century America. And then something changed. The forensic question that this documentary is built around is exactly what that something was. Chapter 6. The first cracks. What started to separate them? The collapse of a brotherhood does not announce itself. It does not arrive with a formal declaration or a clear inciting incident that everyone present can point to and say, "There, that's the moment everything changed." It is subtler than that. It is slower than that. And in many ways, it is more insidious than a single dramatic rupture, because the slow fracture gives each party time to accumulate grievance, to build a private case against the other, to harden their position before the public confrontation makes hardening necessary. In the case of FBG versus the STL EBT Jaro coalition, the first cracks appear to have been related to a set of interconnected tensions that were rooted in street credibility, resource allocation, and the specific pressures that music industry attention brought to an environment that was not designed to handle it. When drill music began to attract mainstream attention, when the interviews started, when the YouTube views started climbing, when the Vice documentaries and the CNN segments and the national media spotlight began to treat Chicago's South Side as content, something fundamental shifted in the internal dynamics of the crews involved. Money became a factor in a new way. Clout became a currency. Public image, which in previous eras had been managed within the community, judged by community standards, suddenly had an external audience that operated by completely different rules. And the men who were positioned to capitalize on that external attention, the ones with the charisma, the articulateness, the camera presence, began to accumulate a kind of influence that was not necessarily proportional to their standing within the street community itself.
Leave it real. That's my line.
I don't give no fuck, you ain't gonna do that shit.
I'm gonna drop the 5-2 right
I don't give no fuck, do that shit when you ain't with me. Yeah, for real. Cause you horse playing, but I beat your ass for real.
You snatching Duck's bankroll. I know that was not ever happened in life.
You egging it on, I'll slap the shit out you, bitch. Keep playing. That is my girl. They say, yo, you been a bitch, bro. They call my mama.
Stop. Hey, bro. Hey, stop, bro.
Look at these dreads.
I swear to God, he's a dick. I will slap the shit out. Everybody shut the fuck up and listen, bro. Y'all around tonight, bro. I'ma smack the shit out of whoever played tonight. On my daughter, I'ma smack the dog shit out you. You decent. You alright.
I ain't seen y'all bitch ass like 8-9 months, but I'm geeking.
Alright.
You heard, you know what? You must not fuck with me. I thought you fucked with me.
Alright. Shut the fuck up. Man, shut your bitch ass up. Talking all that goof ass shit. You better shut up before we knock your ass out.
Fuck. And some lean off a peel. If you thinking it is sweet, yes I will, yes I will. Me and Black up on the track, going ham, bitch as usual. Light skin, bitch, ass fat, face beautiful.
Family, like O Block and y'all block like 3 blocks away.
It's always been like that.
Like that's shit weird to me because it's like, no wonder the killing so high. Y'all right there, I'm pretty sure y'all use the same gas stations, the same everything.
Shit, oh well. You know, we ain't no whole ass niggas.
Right.
We with this shit for real. I ain't gonna try to make it seem like they ain't with the shits. Cause if they catch you, they'll smoke your ass too.
Exactly.
Before them. But at the same time, like, that's how you know, the inside is no whole side. You catch my drill? Like, of course I'm gonna say they some whole ass niggas. But
exactly, they trying to kill you.
they right. But OD. I'll smack the shit out you in OD. You bogus as hell. Fuck wrong with you, nigga.
Shit, when I catch you, I'ma smack the shit out you. Cause I'ma see you real soon, bro. I'ma see you real soon, bro.
Listen, you.
But nigga, fuck T-Roy and OD, them dead bitch.
And at one point, Duck confronted you for getting his sister pregnant?
Yeah, man. He choked me up.
No homo, them niggas could suck my dick.
Don't ever grab my throat like that again, bro.
This tension is not unique to FBG or to Chicago. It is played out in every urban environment where street culture and commercial opportunity have intersected. The rapper becomes the most visible face of the block. The rapper gets the interviews. The rapper gets the record deal inquiries. The rapper gets the social media following. And the people on the block who remember who that rapper was before the cameras arrived begin to do a very specific kind of accounting, comparing who he was then to who he presents himself as now, and noting every discrepancy. In FBG's case, Duck's growing profile was the primary catalyst for this kind of accounting. He was smart, and he was articulate, and he understood how to work the internet era of street documentation. Those qualities served him well in building an audience. They also made him a more visible target for critique, because everything he said publicly could be tested against the private knowledge that people from his own environment possessed. Jaro Lil Mikey was among those doing that accounting, and what he began to identify, and would eventually articulate publicly with extraordinary specificity, was a gap between the public narrative FBG was constructing and the private reality that people from the neighborhood knew. The allegation, stripped to its core, was this: FBG's music and public persona implied a level of street involvement, of active participation in the violence and conflict and territorial disputes of Southside Chicago, that Jaro and others from the area believed was not accurate. The claim was not simply that FBG were soft. The claim was more specific and more damaging than that. The claim was that FBG had leveraged the credibility of the block, the actual sacrifices, the actual losses, the actual blood of actual people, to build a commercial brand without having made the same kind of sacrifices themselves. That is a serious allegation. And in the specific moral universe of street Chicago, it is one of the most serious allegations that can be made. But again, the honest account demands that we hold this allegation up to scrutiny rather than simply accepting it at face value. Because the individuals making the allegation also have interests. They also have motivations that exist beyond pure principle. And the gap between this person exaggerated their street credentials and this person deserves to be publicly destroyed is one that reasonable people can and should interrogate. Chapter 7. The Music as Evidence. How the drill era created the conditions for beef. To understand why the credibility question became so explosive in this specific context, you have to understand what drill music meant, not commercially, not culturally in the broader sense, but specifically within the communities that produced it. In the early drill era, the period from roughly 2011 through 2014, when the sound was still primarily a Southside Chicago phenomenon before it went national and then global, the music functioned as something very close to a neighborhood newspaper. The lyrics were hyper-specific. The names were real. The locations were real. The events being described were real. verifiable, cross-referenceable against actual incidents that anyone in the community could confirm or deny. This specificity was both the artistic core of drill and its most dangerous characteristic. It was what made it compelling to listeners. The rawness, the granularity, the sense of unmediated truth. And it was also what made every word in a drill song a potential piece of evidence. Not just in the legal sense, though prosecutors absolutely used these lyrics in court in ways that created their own set of profound civil liberties concerns, but in the social sense. Every claim made in a drill song was subject to evaluation by the community that the song was about. FBG Duck understood this dynamic. He was a student of it. His music engaged with specific events and specific people in ways that reflected genuine familiarity with the terrain he was rapping about. But the nature of the drill format also meant that the persona and the reality were always in tension. The artist chooses which stories to tell. The artist chooses which aspects of their experience to foreground and which to leave in shadow. That selection process, which is the basic act of artistic curation, becomes, in the drill context, a potential site of dishonesty. And it was into that potential site that Jaro Lil Mikey directed his most precise allegations. Chapter 14. The Trigger Events. Street beefs don't start as theories. They start as moments. Decisions made. Calls answered, or not. Lines crossed, or not. The honest account asks, which moments turned alliance into animosity? From public interviews, neighborhood memory, and documented posts, 3 categories stand out. First, failures of solidarity. In this world, solidarity is action, not caption. When pressure comes, you show up. The allegation, repeated by multiple voices, is that in specific high-heat moments, FBG or individual members were absent. Music said one thing, the moment demanded another. Presence did not match persona. Whether fully true or not, the perception stuck, and perception shapes fate. Second, resource asymmetry. As FBG Duck's profile rose, the question turned practical. What returned to the block that built the brand? Unspoken expectations collided with visible opportunities. Resentment followed the feeling that extraction outweighed contribution. Third, the politics of the Chiraq era. Media attention rewarded access and performance. Not everyone with a camera had the closest claim to the story. People who knew the ledger saw gaps between presentation and history, and contempt grew. Put together, these factors hardened into a single charge: just rappers. In this moral universe, that isn't harmless critique. It is a credibility verdict. And credibility here is survival. These are the trigger events as the community describes them, claims to be tested, not conclusions to be celebrated. Next, how the internet made every allegation permanent and louder. One of the most analytically important aspects of this story is the way it illustrates a pattern that plays out across every major urban conflict in American history. Proximity amplifies grievance. The closer you are to someone, the more you know about the gap between their public face and their private reality. The closer you are, the more personal any perceived slight or discrepancy feels. The closer you are, the more the betrayal, real or perceived, cuts. FBG and the STL EBT Jaro coalition were close. Not just geographically close, though the geography matters enormously. They were close in the way that young men in tight communities are close, with the full weight of shared history and shared loss and shared knowledge that comes from navigating the same dangerous environment for years. That closeness is what made the accusations Jaro leveled feel so credible to people in the community. He wasn't an outside commentator making guesses about FBG's street standing. He was someone from the same environment, the same geography, the same era, who was claiming first-hand knowledge of the gap between FBG's public persona and their private reality. And it's that closeness, that first-hand knowledge, that also explains why FBG could not simply dismiss the allegations as misinformed. You can dismiss commentary from someone who doesn't know you. You can shrug off the opinion of a stranger, but when the critique comes from someone who was there, who stood in the same rooms, walked the same corners, who knows your history not from the internet but from direct experience, dismissal becomes much harder, and the attempt to dismiss it anyway reads, to observers, as either arrogance or evasion. The geographic fault line worked like this. The same blocks that had produced a sense of shared community and shared struggle had also produced a shared ledger. Everyone on those blocks knew who had done what. Everyone had access to the same information about who had stepped up in moments of conflict and who had stepped back. The music had put FBG's name in a public register that implied certain answers to those questions, and the people with access to the private ledger were increasingly prepared to challenge the public register's accuracy. STL's position within this dynamic was shaped by their specific experience of being from St. Lawrence. They were not outside observers of this tension. They were inside it, with their own history of losses and actions that gave them both the standing and the motivation to evaluate FBG's claims critically. When men who have genuinely paid the price of street life look at men who they believe have marketed street life as a brand without paying that price, the emotional response is not dispassionate. It is visceral. It feels like a specific kind of theft. The theft of credibility, of legitimacy, of the narrative authority that rightfully belongs to those who actually lived it. That visceral response is what eventually transformed private grievance into public beef. Chapter C. We now present the Jaro and EBT case against FBG point by point as it appears in public interviews, social media statements, and community accounts. We will clearly mark documented allegation versus verified fact. This is not endorsement. It is record. Allegations are claims requiring scrutiny. Facts are independently corroborated by reliable sources. Point 1. Documented allegation. FBG were not active participants in certain conflicts their music described. According to Jaro Lil Mikey and members of EBT, first-person lyrics implied direct involvement in events. They claim FBG members were present nearby, but not engaged. Basis cited: first-hand presence and neighborhood knowledge from the same blocks and time period. Verified fact: Jaro publicly made these claims in multiple recorded interviews. Verified fact: these statements spread widely online. Unverified: whether each specific event occurred exactly as alleged and who did what remains disputed. Point 2. Documented allegation. FBG leveraged community loss while contributing little to community protection. The charge is economic and moral. Commercial gains and visibility drawn from the block's sacrifices without proportional support returning. Verified fact: community debates about what returns to the neighborhood are common in Drill's rise. Verified fact: critics from the STL and EBT orbit voiced this specific concern on the record. Unverified: any definitive accounting of money, aid, or protection attributable to FBG members. Point 3. Documented allegation. FBG's fame was built on borrowed credibility. The claim, proximity and association with individuals who actually carried out the actions, allowed FBG to present their credibility as personal. Verified fact: Jaro and EBT articulated this argument publicly and repeatedly. Verified fact: authenticity is a core value in Drill's first-person tradition. Unverified: a conclusive event-by-event proof that persona and reality diverged in the manner alleged. Next, we test each claim against available documentation without assuming conclusions.